Acceptance. Acceptance occurred for the first hospitalization when I entered the university psychiatrist Dr. Nasser's office. Apparently, I did a ritual with my Burger King bag when I placed it on the table. I didn't realize it nor anticipate the severity of the diagnosis. Dr. Nasser said I had psychosis, and my condition was schizoaffective thoughts disorder. He gave me the option to be admitted to the behavioral medicine unit at St. Anthony's Hospital, 45 minutes away. Confused but desperate for help, I was ready to go, and I did. For this very scary process, 2 counselors on call from the Notre Dame Counseling Center accompanied me in the car to be transported there. With my first hospitalization, I was ready to try any medication or treatment to get better upon getting admitted into the behavioral medicine unit. My acceptance years later occurred during a 2-week stay in the hospital. I suffered acute psychosis, unaware that everything I perceived during that time was nonsensical and completely out of touch with reality. I eventually realized that all was not, and everything I believed were delusions. Upon realizing, I wept in front of a nurse who listened to me in the behavioral unit and confirmed my rude awakening of truth. I had really fallen on my face. To more of my astonishment, however, I was released from the hospital on 9/11 and still ill and paranoid. I thought the terrorist attacks shown on TV in New York were a hoax. Eventually, as I recovered, I realized the World Trade Center attacks were not a hoax. During my 3rd hospitalization in 2014, acceptance occurred after I called for an ambulance to take me to the ER. A psychiatrist was called in to evaluate me, and when I realized I had really gone off the deep end by going off my meds, I was desperate for her to pray for me. I had a long, hard road to recovery ahead. The psychiatrist did pray for me with great thoughtfulness, care, and compassion. My job required me to see a psychiatrist before I could return to work. Corresponding with HR, I was granted 1 month of paid time off. I decided to be hospitalized at Mercy Hospital through the help of a friend. Acceptance came 2 years later after feeling suicidal on horrible meds with anxiety. My only hope was a friend who prayed for me, and it came to her to suggest a reputable psychiatrist. I did not realize how much the side effects of the certain meds I was on sabotaged my everyday life to function. It sucked me of my joy and motivated me to hunger for death rather than more days of living hell. However, I did commit to accept suffering my anxiety attacks and resolve that that was God's will in my life. Then, God gave me a psychiatrist who prescribed a regimen that greatly reduced the suffering of my anxiety attacks. In 2019 was my 4th hospitalization, and it occurred when I accepted that I needed to go to the hospital with mania symptoms, even though I was working full-time. For instance, I would not eat a meal until after I talked incessantly. Realizing I needed treatment as soon as possible, my husband supported me to be admitted to the ER, and I got leave from work.